Hi everyone, Catherine here from Inkyfinger Cat. I'm going to go through the layouts that have piled up over the last month or so and share those with you now. I am going to make a confession. I am filming this, it's the very end of April, but I'm going to not be putting this out until towards the end of May. The reason being is that I have stored up a few scrapping Saturdays to the end of May because I know I've got a really busy month ahead. I'm not saying I won't do any scrapbooking, but it's unlikely that they're going to be the projects that I'm going to choose to do when I have a spare time. And if I do, I'll just shove them into June's. So I am filming this ahead of time to share with you, but it's partly because I'm doing a bit of a tidy up job and I want to get things put away into albums where possible. I'm actually struggling a little bit. I need some more albums because I think I'm running out of space. So anyway, I thought I'd share them with you. Let me have a look. Am I on the right thing with the camera? Just checking. Okay. So these are ones that I have been doing in probably a little bit of March, April, and the videos that will come out in May, or blog posts that will come out in May. So some of them are page kits that I did in a crop that I did this last weekend. Some of the things I've done at home. Some of the ones are the pages that I did when I was feeling quite poorly, and all I could manage to do was to sit down, do a scrapbook page for 40 minutes, go back and sleep. So yeah, there's a whole mix of stuff in here. So starting with this one, I love this. I'm really happy. You know, when you look back at something and think, oh, I'm really proud of this. So the day I made this, my daughter's friends were all around at our house and they were all celebrating birthdays. But this is actually a picture from the previous year when they went out for Maya and Hannah's 18th birthday celebrations. So yeah, this is a picture of her and her friends. I'm not going to go into detail, but yeah, her best friends, who are all gorgeous, gorgeous girls. I love them to bits. I used some perspectives from Bramble Fox. I used old papers, some doilies and embellishments that came with the, I'm gonna say, February Hey Little Magpie kit. It might have been March, but I think it was their February kit. Like the little bits of the trim, the doilies, and I think the sequins probably came in that kit, and those little hearts. I love those little hearts, they're so cute. And yeah, old papers, and these were sort of like almost leftover bits of paper as well. Did obviously a little bit of stenciling and inking in the background, but love that distressed. It was already a kind of distressed ledger type paper. So yeah, there's that one. Okay, so you can see here the cameras were taken from the pattern paper that this one is in. So you'll see that some of them are very similar in terms of the colours, etc., but a totally changed up type of page, totally different. This was our Mother's Day, I think. Yeah, Mother's Day last year. And that trim is also from the Hey Little Magpie kit, as are the little wooden hearts, the little daisies. I think the daisies came from the March kit. I think the hearts came from the February kit. Not entirely sure whether that was a Bramble Fox or whether it was a Hey Little Magpie one. I don't know. But for me, it's these leaves. I just love those leaves. Added in some 49th and Market, other tags and bits and pieces. But yeah, those leaves, I just love them. And you'll see them on a few pages because I had a bit of a grabbing them every time. This one I also pulled in some different stuff. So there was things like the little paper bags that came from, I think one of them might be Lollipop Box Club kit, and this one I think was a Bramble Fox kit. And then this page in particular was tags, tickets and twine, I think. So ticket, tag, because I've turned this into a tag, and the twine. So this was the challenge for Hey Little Magpie in April on their Facebook group. Again, just a bit of stenciling and some splatter for this one. Right, different papers entirely. And this was, I joined quite a few Facebook groups whilst I was poorly, because I was, you know, couldn't do very much, mainly stuck in bed. And one of them I think is Bash Your Stash, and it was all about used flowers and doilies and various things. So, and butterflies I think was on the list. So I'd got, this is from a Hey Little Magpie kit, that's from a Hey Little Magpie kit, as was that. The doily was, I think that was about it. But obviously I've got my floral paper, I've got the flowers, both the puffy stickers and the little, what they're called, like sewn ones, embroidery type ones, don't know. And then this is a gorgeous picture of my mum on my graduation day, looking ever so elegant. Love that. And this one did quite a bit of mixed media. I used the shimmer spritz from Kingston Crafts in the background, but I painted it rather, it's quite messy. I think I probably should have done packaging technique, but I like it, it's fun. And obviously all sparkly and shiny. And then obviously I've picked up on the lemon in my mum's outfit to put all the yellows in that works with those papers. Here we go, the leaves are back again. Now this is actually a page kit that I got from Sarah, and it was all about Christmas, a Christmas Day walk, but I decided I quite like the colours of the papers when, for me, to be in a bit autumnal. So I went off piece completely. Vaguely used the concept of her sketch, but I added in, so these were from the kit that she'd given me with the jacket and the jumper, but everything else I just added in. So a lot of it's 49th and Market. I used rub-ons in the background as my sort of mixed media element. And then this is pictures of Dunham Massey, which is somewhere that we love. It's very local to us, a National Trust property that actually we have been to visit this last weekend. But this was back in the autumn, and it has deer roaming around the whole site. And yeah, so we always take hundreds of pictures when we're there, me and my daughter. But again, those leaves, just love those leaves. Oh look, there's those leaves. I just love those leaves. So this is leftovers from that kit, and potentially another kit might have made it in. No, I think that was the same kit. These are the leftovers. What people will know is when I start with something, I try to use it all up. So I get to a point where there's only a little bit of scraps left. But yeah, especially when I'm doing a page kit, because there's never enough really to then do major amounts of projects after. There's enough to maybe do one more page, or some bits to do a third page if you're lucky. So this one again, I added in some of the 49 Market stuff, obviously the leaves, also the title, and like there's little stickers, not stickers, like tags here. You can see there's parts of the frames that I've just cut apart to put in. And then again, these are the Dunham Massey. So these are, even though it's not a double page layout, clearly they're kind of very similar. Totally different white cardstock I've used as the base, but there you go. But yeah, they're obviously very similar, but actually it's also a very similar subject matter. And what I've just realised is I forgot to rub out the lines. I don't often add lines in for my journaling, but for some reason on this one, yeah, I did. And then forgot to take them off. There we go. Okay, but yeah, very similar subject matter because it was the same day as those other photos. But this is my husband and daughter and the most glorious autumnal tree. But yeah, so that's what that one is. Now this next one is a bit different. So this is using the most gorgeous papers that I think Stampin' Up ever did, which was the I want to say Expressions in Ink, Artistic Impressions. Yes, I think the papers were called Expressions in Ink. I think the stamp set was called Artistic Impressions or something like that. But yeah, it was these sort of like alcohol ink style papers, and I just loved them. I mean, the full page ones had got gold foiling in them as well, which are gorgeous, but a little bit over the top, whereas this is just beautiful to me. This one is a very old picture of me. I think it will have been around about 1988. That's what I've decided to date it at. That's where I think it was, in Menorca, in my most favourite of places. I used embellishments from Hey Little Magpie, the perspectives are from Bramble Fox, and then I used lots of little bits and pieces that were either cut from Lollipop Box Club or from Bramble Fox Club bits and pieces from the embellishment box. I added just a little bit of papers below, and those papers were actually, if we go back to, I think that first one we looked at, can you see this paper here? It's the same paper in the background there, but there was just little bits left, and I just add those little ticket bits. A little bit of the cameras again from that first and second pages, that camera paper, added those in. But I love that. And you know, when you get, like, if you get embellishment kits or you get a kit from a company, sometimes they have things in and you think, I'm never going to use that. And that's what I felt about those little emojis, but actually it works quite well. It's just a bit of fun and a bit different. So yeah, do like that page. Another really old one. This one, I've gone with 1992, but I actually think it might have been earlier than that, but I'm not sure. Yeah, I mean, I've put circa 1992. It might have been before that. They're really old Polaroid pictures, and that's a picture of me and my grandparents' back garden, and this is the Botanical Gardens in South Wales. I've done some stenciling and some sort of like packaging technique in the background. Added the papers in. Again, really old papers, and then some bits from embellishments that I had just in the box. Some of them are 49 and Market, some of them are different, and just added some bits and pieces to it. Again, the hearts were probably from the embellishment kit, and the little bit of ribbon trim type stuff, that was probably from the February embellishment kit from Hey Little Magpie. Probably the twine the same, or the thread was the same. But yeah, really, really cute, sort of vintagey page with the floral elements that work obviously with not just the floral elements of my outfit and my mum's skirt, but also the flower from the Botanical Gardens. So yeah, really, really sweet, kind of vintagey, a bit different. Now you can see here I'm on a different set of papers. So the bird paper and the music paper. So you can see a bit of the music paper, clearly quite a large amount of the bird paper. And then this is another one, you know, like that pink doily. Well, this was in the light green. I think these were Maggie Holmes papers, but I could be wrong. I've had them for a long time. This time, gone against the sort of the crumb cake, it probably will have been, but the craft kind of coloured cardstock. And this time I decided to bring in some stamping. I think I probably needed to do more stamping now I'm looking at it a little bit more critically, but I still really like it. Again, just raided the embellishment box to bring out some stickers that were from another page kit that I'd had. The sequins are probably from a Hey Little Magpie embellishment kit. Yeah, I probably just raided quite a few of the bits and pieces. Definitely these tags came from Hey Little Magpie as well. And then I think this is 49 Market. Yeah, not quite sure about the other bits and pieces. Just some random stuff. I also got some random sort of like book print in there as well. And this was a picture of quite a few people from one of my mum's birthday meals out in 2023 in August. And so my parents, they're very good friends of the family, Bob and Chris, my auntie, and the three of us, my hubby, my daughter and me. Again, you can see using the same papers, so the doily paper, music and the bird, this time against a dark base. Now this dark base has got a lot of sort of like a rose gold kind of splatter all over the background, you know, the papers as well as the background piece, and then just the central photo of my daughter and at a Arley Hall. So somewhere different. We didn't just go to Dunham Massey. We've been saying this weekend that all we do is go to Dunham Massey. We need to go to different places. Well, this one was from Arley Hall. This is a good few years ago. I need to find out when it was. But yeah, she was probably about 14, 13, something like that at the time. So a good 5 or 6 years ago. Again, brought in some of the perspectives from Bramble Fox, and then most of these embellishments are probably from Hey Little Magpie. In fact, I'm fairly confident they are probably from the March embellishment kit. So I like that. It's cute, it's different, and I really like it. And now we're on the home straight. These are the ones that I've done this last weekend at the crop. So some of them are page kits and some of them aren't. So I'm actually going to pop that on. I'm going to try and pop them in order that I actually made them. Would probably make sense. Did I do them in that order? I did them in that order. Okay. It doesn't matter to you, does it really? But it does to me. Okay, so this is a page kit using the supplies that Sarah designed for Hey Little Magpie. She does as a page kit for each of the crops. And then there are others there that we can buy. So you'll see that this is actually not drastically different to how she designed it. Normally I go completely off piece and do something totally different with it, but I didn't. I followed along pretty much. The changes that I made were the 2 elements that she'd included just didn't work with the photos that I had with me. And so I chose this photo from us at Chester Zoo last year in August, on the boat ride, and yeah, it just didn't work with Hello Friend and You're Amazing. It just didn't work. So I went with the smile, which came from one of the embellishment kits. Did it come from an embellishment kit? No, I bought it at the crop. Yeah, it didn't come from an embellishment kit. I bought it. But everything else came from that kit, including the sort of like the faux stitching lines. Didn't exactly follow what she'd done, but almost the same. She'd also used her thread to actually do some sewing on the page as well, but I just ended up doing some little clusters of the twine. But otherwise, pretty similar to what Sarah had designed, or certainly recognisable. So yeah, that was the first one I made. The scraps from that page, I took some cardstock with me, and that included this, which I think is Primrose Petals colour cardstock. So I've had it for a long time. It's actually one of those coordinations ones, so it's got some texture to it, and it sands really well, but I didn't end up doing any techniques with it or any mixed media on either this or the first one. It was very unusual for me to not add anything extra in the background. But this, unusually, it's not a single photo or a 2 photo layout. I actually managed 6 photos on this, but that's because I had some photos that were already collage, and this is from the Take That This Life tour that my daughter and I went to in May 2024. But yeah, I thought it worked really well, especially with the torn edges giving like the little white boundaries. I thought it worked well with that dark coloured cardstock. And then that's just a picture of us before we went over to the arena, sitting in the Cathedral Gardens in Manchester. It was just a glorious day, and it was lovely to sort of people watch before we went in. So yeah, that was the second page I did using the scraps. Right, this was another page kit. I actually don't know if I've got the original picture. Yes, I have. Hang on. So that's what it was designed to look like. So you can see some of it is the same, but then clearly I've done some inking in the background because I really wanted to bring out more of the green, and then I've moved it over to the right hand side of the page and left it a lot of white space on this side. So as a result, I kind of, instead of having a larger cluster on this side, I've put quite a big cluster here, a cluster down here, and a smaller cluster over here, and that's how I've done my page. So a bit different, but I think it's still recognisably using the elements from that sketch. I just loved that stripy paper. I thought it was really cute, and I love the little heart paper. And then this trim, I had to borrow somebody else's tiny attacher to get my trim to stay in place, because it's kind of like an elasticated trim. I couldn't get it to stay in place, and I couldn't be bothered to sew it, so I had to go and borrow somebody else's tiny attacher, and of course it's made me need a tiny attacher. This picture is from me waiting to go on Nemesis first thing in the morning at Alton Towers. Nemesis is my favourite roller coaster in the world. I've not been on many roller coasters outside of the UK, but it's my favourite roller coaster. And it was closed the previous time we'd been for refurbishment, so this is the first time we were going on it with its new colour scheme, new theming. I mean, it's very similar to the old one, to be fair. And I was very excited, and it did not disappoint. It is still my favourite roller coaster. I love it. Maybe if I ever get to Florida, I might change my mind. But for now, this is my favourite roller coaster, and I love that. So because I've got the pink in my hair and the pink of the coat, and then the green of the bag, the green of the foliage, and then the red of the ride, I just thought it went well with these bright colours. And the final page kit was this one, which I definitely went off-piste. So I decided I wanted more of the black. I decided I wanted to use these pictures of the Aurora Borealis, can't say that, the Northern Lights. This is pictures from my back garden. It's the first time I'd ever seen them, and it was just amazing to see them. I saw it on Facebook that they were happening. I'd missed it the last time it happened in our area. It's not something that happens very often. And like the following day, I'd woken up and found that all these people had seen it, and I was like, oh, we missed it. This time I managed to do it, so I went outside in my PJs and took pictures. So for some reason, it just didn't work with it being sort of like that way. It just didn't seem to work. As soon as I turned the page that way, it worked better. But also I wanted more black. And you can see on here the black's peeping through, but it's very much a peep. So instead I trimmed mine down quite a bit and then trimmed them in two. And I also didn't keep the things the same size. So you can see the yellow is considerably different. The green is actually smaller than the pink, etc. I think the only one that's dead obviously different is the yellow though, so I think I probably should have done more of a difference for them, but you know, it is gorgeous. But it was bizarre because this paper is actually one piece of paper. It's just that, I mean, just how clever to then cut that paper that is one piece of paper that's already striped into the different stripes to then create the distressing. I think it's genius, but then we all know that Sarah's really clever. Anyway, I did keep in the tag elements, but then sort of all of the cutter parts and things, most of them just didn't work with the theme of the Northern Lights, so I just kept going, finding things that were in the cutter parts but would work better with this. And then I created my three sort of cluster areas with embellishments. These came with this kit, and then these came from a Hey Little Magpie embellishment kit, as did the sequins. And then I'd found some stickers that were in, puffy stickers and stuff that were in embellishments that I'd already got. So it isn't obvious that it came from this, but the inspiration you can see sort of comes from the thing. And that's what I love about the page kits. I love that I can do my own thing with them. I can follow them exactly, or I can do my own thing with them. But what I already know is it's going to work. It's going to coordinate, because all the bits and pieces that she's put in the kit are already going to coordinate. And then it's just about adding your own bit of flair, or as somebody else said, pizzazz. Now, as I've said earlier, like to keep going until I've used up my scraps. Well, I didn't quite manage to use up all my scraps, but I did manage one more page. And this is scraps from all of those three kits, along with bits and pieces from the embellishment packs and things that I'd already got with me. So this is actually the back of the cutter parts that were in this kit. This was the background of them. So you can see a little bit of the pink peeping out there. that was from the Alton Towers picture. You can see that bit of the yellow hearts, yellow with the hearts, obviously the stripe that was in that page. This again is the background of that stripe paper. This is a bit that I'd cut that was between the red, the pink piece and the yellow piece. There's some cutter parts. I can't remember what that was from, but that was from one of them. I think that was, yeah, from this first kit. You can see there. So I just was using up the bits and pieces that I'd got. Again, I stuck a little bit of stenciling in the background just to jazz it up a little bit. And then because it was quite an eclectic background that we got, we were in a pizza parlour in Oxford, and it got like all memorabilia, and it was all a bit funky in the way that it was decorated and stuff. I thought, well, actually these eclectic papers kind of work well. That was a puffy sticker that was in the stash. That came from one of the embellishment kits. This was actually, these sequins actually came with one of the kits. I think it was this one. Yeah, this one had got lots of this little gold sequins. So I'd still got some left over, so I added those. I did find a bit of thread from my stash. That came in one of the kits. Maybe it didn't. Maybe it did. Came on this kit. You can see it just under there. But I mean, I covered most of it up, but I'd also cut it off, so there was a little bit left, so I added that. I think the only thing that's left to be done out of these pages is actually, I'm going to have to leave this one out, is because I want to put Northern Lights down here, but I need to die cut the letters, so I'll leave this one out. All the rest of them are going to have to go back into, or go into page protectors now and be put away. But yeah, so quite a large amount of layouts that I've done over the last few months, and yeah, really happy with that. I hope you enjoyed that. Obviously you'll have seen some of them being made as videos, some of them I didn't do as videos, obviously not the ones that I did at the crop. I don't video whilst I'm there, but yeah, I hope you enjoyed a little look through all of the layouts that I've been doing over the last couple of months. Obviously I am filming this and putting this out a lot later than when I'm filming it. Sorry, I'm putting this out on YouTube a lot later than when I've filmed it. So I don't think that I'm going to be doing any new scrapbook pages for a couple of weeks. I have a few projects that I need to get started on, including Christmas in July. I need to have a think about. I've got a holiday in the next month, and I've got a really busy time at work, so I just don't think it's going to happen that I'm going to do scrapbook pages. But if I do, I'll just start storing them up for a future layout share video. Right, I've definitely waffled on for quite a while then. I hope you enjoyed it. Please do like, subscribe to see more, and drop me a comment below. I hope you got some inspiration from some of that, and obviously a big thank you to Sarah, who did design quite a few of the page kits. So I want to say a big thank you to Sarah at Hey Little Magpie for all of her inspiration. Please do check out her channel on YouTube. I think it just comes under Sarah Davies, or if you search Sarah Davies Hey Little Magpie, I'm sure it'll come up. If I remember when I'm editing this and uploading it, I'll try and remember to put the a link in the description below, but apologies if I don't. Okay, I'm going now, so until next time, bye bye.